The latest wave of Sony A7V leaked specifications has sent the entire camera community into a whirlwind of excitement, speculation, and deep dive analysis as we get a much clearer picture of what this next generation full-frame mirrorless body might truly deliver, and whether it's simply a mild refresh or a genuinely powerful upgrade that pushes Sony's mid-range lineup into an era capable of competing directly with cameras like the Nikon Z6 III, Canon EOS R6 Mark III, Panasonic Lumix S5 II, and Fujifilm X-H2S in areas such as high-speed burst shooting, sensor readout optimization, oversampled 4K video recording, and improved hybrid autofocus algorithms using next-gen AI subject recognition. And now, according to multiple reliable industry insiders, the Sony A7V seems positioned not as a small iterative update but as a substantial leap forward in both performance and usability, with new rumors focusing heavily on continuous shooting throughput, sensor readout acceleration, rolling shutter suppression, thermal efficiency for long-form 4K recording, enhanced color science, and new ergonomic refinements that directly address long-standing complaints from Sony users coming from the A7 IV generation. And the more you look at these freshly leaked details, the clearer it becomes that the A7V is intended to modernize Sony's entire all-around hybrid creator identity. Early confirmed whispers point toward the inclusion of a 33-megapixel full-frame partially stacked CMOS sensor, a major step up from the A7 IV's standard BSI design, as partially stacked architecture shortens pixel readout times dramatically, resulting in far less rolling shutter distortion, something A7 IV shooters complained about heavily when shooting fast-moving subjects, panning, or recording sports footage. And this improvement alone already puts the A7V into a higher tier of responsiveness, aligning it closer to the new generation of hybrid cameras like the Nikon Z6 III that introduced partially stacked technology to great acclaim. Just as impressive are the leaked burst shooting numbers, a staggering 30 frames per second electronic burst, though still unconfirmed whether this applies to RAW, JPEG, or lower bit depth formats, and whether the buffer is deep enough to sustain long action sequences without clogging. Yet even with those unknowns, 30 frames per second is triple what the previous model delivered, instantly transforming the A7V into a legitimate choice for wildlife photographers, sports shooters, and action content creators who felt the A7 IV's 10 frames per second cap was too limiting in professional workflows. Mechanical shutter performance reportedly remains at 10 frames per second, which while not record-breaking, still remains competitive considering that most photographers will likely rely heavily on the improved electronic shutter, especially now that rolling shutter is drastically minimized thanks to the partially stacked design. And let's not forget that most modern shooters, especially hybrid crews, have already transitioned into electronic shutter as their primary mode because of its near silent operation, reduced vibration, and lightning-fast response. But perhaps the biggest relief for videographers and hybrid creators is the long-awaited removal of the dreaded 4K 60 crop, which has now reportedly been eliminated completely, allowing full-frame 4K 60 recording without the frustrating limitations that plagued users who needed wide-angle field of view for vlogging, documentary filmmaking, event coverage, or landscape cinematography. And this uncropped 4K makes the A7V feel far more aligned with modern expectations in 2025, where full sensor readout is considered essential for a high-end hybrid body. And if that wasn't enough, rumors also highlight improved processing pipelines, upgraded thermal management allowing longer continuous 4K recording sessions without overheating, new oversampling techniques delivering punchier detail across 4K 24, 4K 30, and 4K 60, plus an expanded suite of log profiles like S-Log3 and S-Cinetone with better color depth, smoother highlight roll-off, and richer dynamic range optimized for HDR workflows, YouTube filmmaking, and professional post-production color grading, making the A7V a compelling tool for filmmakers seeking high-end quality without stepping into flagship territory. Another major upgrade comes in the form of the fully articulating 5-axis LCD system first introduced in Sony's higher-end models, giving hybrid creators complete flex ability while filming themselves, shooting vertical content for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, or capturing low-angle creative shots, This upgrade also makes the A7V more competitive in the modern creator economy, where mobility, flexibility, and fast workflow adaptability are crucial. The port selection is also a massive improvement, including dual CF Express Type A/SD hybrid card slots, dual USB-C ports for simultaneous power delivery and fast data transfer, and most importantly a full-size HDMI port, finally answering years of user complaints about Sony's reliance on micro HDMI. With this full-size port, external monitor users, Automos recorders, and live streaming setups will enjoy far more durability and reliability. Together, these upgrades show Sony listened closely to long-held community feedback, addressing nearly every major frustration: slow sensor readout, mediocre burst performance, cropped 4K 60, half-measure port layouts, and buffer limitations. And these changes demonstrate that the A7V is not merely a mild refresh but a substantial foundational overhaul intended to keep Sony competitive in a market rapidly heating up with innovations across brands. And while some early skeptics predicted that the A7V would reuse existing components and deliver a conservative update meant only to fill a gap in Sony's lineup, these leaks strongly suggest the opposite. A camera built with an entirely renewed performance pipeline that positions it directly against the Canon EOS R6 Mark III and Nikon Z6 III in the same price range. Of course, we still don't know everything about the camera. Autofocus system details remain unconfirmed, though it's widely expected that Sony will upgrade the AI-driven subject recognition engine, incorporating improved deep learning models capable of tracking athletes, birds, vehicles, insects, and even helmets or action sports gear with far greater accuracy, battery life, heat management for extended shoots, codec options such as ALI 600 megabits per second or higher bitrate 10-bit 4:2:2 internal recording. And possible 4K 120 crop modes are still unclear as well, and until Sony officially reveals the camera, we won't know the fine print limitations or additional performance caps hidden beneath the marketing specifications. Still, the A7V's core upgrades, new sensor, faster readout, faster bursts, uncropped 4K 60, improved ports, better ergonomics, are more than enough to elevate expectations dramatically. Pricing rumors suggest around $2,899 to $2,999, and early insiders claim that initial stock may be extremely limited, with only a small number of units shipping before Christmas, making pre-orders essential for anyone wanting the camera early. Industry trends show that demand for hybrid cameras is at an all-time high, and if Sony nails the autofocus reliability and thermal control that creators crave, the A7V might quickly become the most sought-after mid-range full-frame camera of 2025. And even those who recently purchased competitors like the R6 Mark III need not worry. Competition ultimately benefits everyone, driving innovation and lowering prices across the board, creating a thriving ecosystem where creators get more powerful tools each year. These leaks also come at a pivotal moment in the camera industry, where AI processing accelerators, advanced in-sensor buffering, computational photography, and next-gen autofocus detection have become defining characteristics of the latest releases. And Sony, having once dominated these categories, now appears determined to reclaim the hybrid crown with a camera that stands strong not only in specs but in real usability improvements. While we wait for the full announcement, it's clear from everything we're hearing that the A7V is shaping up to be a major milestone in Sony's lineup, offering a fresh sense of power, refinement, and modern hybrid capability that many creators felt was overdue, especially after several conservative refreshes across the A7 series. And if everything in these leaked specs holds true, the Sony A7V could easily become a top recommendation for professional photographers, filmmakers, YouTubers, travel vloggers, event shooters, wedding videographers, landscape artists, wildlife photographers, and creators of all skill levels seeking a balanced yet high-performing full-frame mirrorless camera that blends top-tier speed with cinematic video quality. And with this growing anticipation, the community is already buzzing about potential lens bundle options, pre-order bonuses, and early shipping windows, so stay tuned, because the official reveal is expected very soon, and the Sony A7V is looking more like a category-defining hybrid camera with each new piece of leaked information. raising expectations for what 2025's mirrorless landscape will look like as Sony, Canon, and Nikon continue pushing the boundaries of imaging technology, making this the perfect moment for creators to upgrade and take advantage of the next evolution in professional-grade gear.